Oliver the Owl Who Loved the Sun. Chapter 1. The Whispering Canopy. Deep within the ancient green heart of Whisperwood Forest lived the Silverwing clan of barn owls. For generations, the Silverwings were famous for being the quietest, sharpest, and most devoted hunters of the night. Their feathers were the color of starlight and dark river stones, allowing them to glide unseen through the shadows. Every evening, as the moon rose over the treetops, the Silverwing owls would stretch their wings, preen their feathers, and take to the skies. They hunted, watched over the forest, and gathered in the high branches of the great elder oak to share news. And every morning, as the first faint ribbons of pink and gold touched the horizon, they flew back to their cozy hollows, closed their heavy eyelids, and slept until dusk. That was the way of the owls. It had always been the way. Except for Oliver. Oliver was a young owl with unusually large bright golden eyes and soft midnight blue feathers. Oliver respected the night. He liked the quiet whisper of the midnight breeze and the soft glow of the moon. But what truly fascinated Oliver was the one thing no owl was supposed to see: the morning. While his brothers and sisters snored soundly in their hollows, Oliver would sit near the edge of the tree hole, keeping one eye propped open. He watched the dark sky bleed into deep purple, then soft rose, and finally a brilliant, blinding gold. He listened to the forest wake up a completely different world than the one he knew. He heard the cheerful, high-pitched morning songs of the robins, the busy chitter-chatter of the squirrels, and the gentle humming of bees visiting the opening flower blossoms. "It's like a whole second forest live right under our beaks," Oliver whispered to himself, his heart fluttering with excitement. Chapter 2. A Different Kind of Dreamer. One evening, before the night's hunt began, Oliver sat beside his grandfather, Barnaby, the oldest and wisest owl in. Grandfather Barnaby had feathers as white as snow, and eyes that had seen 80 winters. "Grandfather," Oliver asked softly, hopping a little closer on the thick oak branch, "what is the sun like up close? Is it warm like a campfire?" Grandfather Barnaby turned his head almost completely around, his wide eyes blinking in surprise. "The sun, young Oliver? The sun is bright, harsh, and loud," the old owl hooted gently. "Owls belong to the calm, cool shade of the night. The daytime is full of glare that hurts our eyes and noise that hides the rustle of the leaves. We are night watchers, Oliver. Remember that. A good owl sleeps when the sun speaks." Oliver bowed his head politely. "Yes, grandfather." But in his heart, Oliver couldn't let go of his curiosity. He didn't think the sun looked harsh at all. To him, the sunlight looked like warm honey poured over the leaves. He didn't want to replace the night. He simply wanted to know the day. So, Oliver made a brave choice. Each morning, instead of going straight to sleep, he stayed awake just 30 minutes longer. He practiced squinting his eyes through the thick canopy of leaves, letting his pupils adjust to the growing light. Over weeks of practice, his eyes learned to handle the brightness. Where other owls saw only blinding glare, Oliver learned to see colors he had never dreamed of: vibrant emerald greens, rich crimson berries, and sparkling morning dew that looked like drop diamonds. Chapter 3. The morning the forest fell silent. It was a crisp, golden autumn morning. The moon had dipped below the hills, and the rest of the Silverwing clan was fast asleep, tucked safely in their dark bark hollows. Oliver sat perched on a low birch branch, wrapped in his blanket of midnight blue feathers. He was tired, but his heart was full as he watched the sun climb over the mountains, bathing the forest floor in a cozy, warm glow. Suddenly, the peaceful morning air was broken by a sharp, panicked sound. "Chirp, chirp, help, chirp." Oliver snapped his head toward the ground. The noise wasn't the usual happy morning song. It was a cry of distress. Down on the forest floor, hidden among thick brambles and fallen pine cones, a tiny robin chick named Pip was flailing his tiny, featherless wings. Pip had accidentally tumbled from his high nest in the pine tree above while leaning out to look for his mother. "Oh dear, squeaked a nearby field mouse, scurrying into a leaf pile. "The daytime birds have all flown to the meadow for breakfast. There's no one to help." To make matters worse, a rustling sound echoed from the bushes. A large, hungry forest cat was prowling nearby, lured by the sound of the chick's cries. From high above, Oliver's heart hammered against his ribs. He knew what he had to do, but fear gripped him. Owls didn't fly in the daytime. What if his eyes failed him? What if the sun blinded him while he was mid-flight? Oliver looked down at the tiny chick shivering in the grass. I trained my eyes for this, he told himself softly. I can see in the dark, and I've learned to see in the light. Chapter 4. Flight in the Sun. With a deep breath, Oliver spread his wide, midnight blue wings and dived from his perch straight into the golden sunlight. The light was bright, almost overwhelming at first, but Oliver adjusted his gaze just as he had practiced. He glided smoothly through the warm beams of light, his soft feathers cutting through the air without making a sound. The forest cat leaped out from the bushes toward Pip, but Oliver was faster. Swooping low like a blue shadow, Oliver swept his wings right in front of the cat's face, startling the predator. The cat hissed in confusion. Never in its life had it seen an owl hunting in broad daylight. Frightened by the surprise attack, the cat turned tail and scampered off into the thicket. Oliver landed gently beside the trembling robin chick. "Don't worry, little one," Oliver said, his voice soft and soothing. "You're safe." Pip looked up with big, round eyes. "An owl? In the sunshine?" "A friendly owl," Oliver smiled. "Hold on tight." Carefully using his beak to hold the scruff of Pip's downy coat, Oliver pushed off the ground. He flapped his strong wings, soaring upward through the beams of morning light. He flew straight up to the highest branch of the tall pine tree and tucked Pip safely back into his warm, mossy nest just as the chick's mother came flying back. The mother robin gasped in shock, holding her baby close. "You saved my little Pip. How can I ever thank you, gentle owl?" "No thanks needed," Oliver hooted happily, feeling the sun's warmth on his back. "Just make sure he stays in the nest until his wings grow." Chapter 5. A New Beginning. Word of Oliver's brave morning rescue spread through Whisperwood Forest like a gentle breeze. By the time the sun set and the Silverwing clan woke up for the night, the daytime animals, robins, squirrels, blue jays, and deer had gathered around the great elder oak. Grandfather Barnaby flew down, looking puzzled by the large crowd of daytime creatures waiting at their tree. "What is the meaning of this?" Barnaby hooted, blinking sleepily. The mother robin stepped forward. "We came to honor Oliver. When none of us were here, he used his courage and his sight to save my baby from danger in the bright morning sun." The entire owl clan gasped in astonishment. They looked at Oliver, who blushed and tucked his head into his feathers. Grandfather Barnaby stepped closer to Oliver. He looked at his grandson's big, golden eyes for a long moment, seeing the wisdom and determination within them. "Oliver," Barnaby said, his voice echoing with deep pride, "I told you that owls belong to the night because we could not see the value of the day. But you showed us that light is not something to fear. You followed your curiosity, worked hard to adapt, and used your unique gift to help others." From that day on, Oliver was no longer scolded for staying awake at dawn. The Silverwing clan realized that having an owl who understood both the night and the day made their forest a safer, happier place for everyone. Oliver still loved the quiet midnight sky, but every morning, he would perch on his favorite birch branch, feeling the gentle warmth of the sunrise on his feathers, proud to be the owl who loved the sun. The moral of the story. 1. Embrace what makes you different. You don't have to fit into every expectation or rule made by others. Your unique interests, even if they seem unusual to those around you, can become your greatest strength. 2. Kindness and courage cross all boundaries. When you use your abilities to help others, you bring light and unity into the world no matter who you are or where you come from. Thanks for watching.